Hey, everybody, and welcome to Stars of David.
We're still doing this.
We're still doing this, Baruch Hashem. We're here because I think this is what God wants. I think this is what God wants of us, and I think this is what the people want. And we're here, and it's season 2, which means people are wanting more of this. Do you know that I am so excited about... First of all, this is Eli Leonard. Say hi to Eli.
How's it going, everybody? You all respond now.
No, I'm going to ask you that question. How's it going, Eli?
Oh, it's going great.
Why?
You've never asked me a personal question like that.
Why is it going well?
Well, are you asking me specifically for the podcast?
Yeah.
I'm blowing this. I can't even answer a single question. Why is it going well? I don't know. Today I woke up and I wasn't upset.
Really?
How lucky am I?
I mean, how many people wake up ecstatic?
There's got to be at least 30%. No. That's a way overreaction.
30% of people wake up and go, I can't wait for the day. No one is excited.
Not everybody's living.
Up.
No one's really living in a musical like that.
Right. Maybe Jeff Goldblum. Maybe Jeff Goldblum wakes up and goes, yes, it's going to be quite the lovely day. Yes. But people wake up miserable.
Right. That's why they're forced to say Moda Ani.
Right.
That's why they have to say a morning blessing or share their gratitude.
To remind themselves how fortunate they are to even wake up.
Yes.
But you don't wake up happy. So just because you wake up all miserable and stuff, you're not unique to that. Don't think your experience is so unique.
Oh, I don't think it's
unique.
You're
so one of a kind.
I mean, for many reasons, sure, but not because I wake up not feeling great.
Okay, but you think like you're special because you're miserable.
I don't think depression is special.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's special at all.
Right.
I think it's stigmatized, and I think not a lot of people talk about it, and we should be destigmatizing it.
I think at this point, honestly, a lot of people are talking about it.
Yeah.
Deservingly.
Yeah.
But it's not like 20 years ago where it was stigmatized and nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, you can't be depressed. They gotta make a whole show of Sopranos about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's freaking depressed, right? What the hell's happening with me? Something's wrong.
I do the worst Henry Soprano. What's his name?
Are you
Harry? Tony?
Tony.
I know.
What?
I'm kidding.
No.
Trying to be funny. We have 2, not 1, but 2 stars of David, 2 amazing guests. Bianna and Yonit are not only just the most incredible people, but turns out incredible writers. Mm-hmm. And their new book, Don't Feed the Lion, is such a crucial, valuable, and relevant piece of writing that everyone should get, especially in this time of heightened anti-Semitism. You don't know how to explain it to your kids. I have teenagers. It must be baffling and bewildering to them, being these sweet, adorable kids, waking up in a world that hates them. And then here's a book that actually tells, guides parents into how to handle and deal with this tough discussion to have. It's almost like the other discussion. You know that discussion? The talk?
Oh, yeah. You're talking.
Are you ready to have the talk with your boy?
Yeah, I mean,
when he's older?
I'm ready at any point.
I can't picture you
to talk to anybody
to have the talk.
To have the talk. I would be ready in an instant.
I'm gonna guess
the talk.
Todd didn't give the talk to you.
Oh, Todd and I sat in the front of his car.
No, he didn't.
Heading to probably either a basketball or ultimate frisbee tournament, and
which you excelled at.
Yeah, I not at basketball, but ultimate frisbee, absolutely. And I remember him saying,
how old are you at this point?
I think maybe 15 or 16, and maybe 15. Yeah, and he was like, when I was your age, I was a bit of a prude. So he was saying, you don't have to do it. He was telling me, Eli, you don't have to.
Love his approach.
Yeah, you
personalizing it.
Yeah.
Making you not feel badly about the fact that no one would look at you or touch you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So he was what?
I don't know. He's just like, just use protection.
Use protection.
It was not a comfortable conversation in any way. Mm-hmm. It was silent before and after, and I didn't learn anything.
You didn't come away with it feeling wiser?
Absolutely not.
You were still confused?
No, I Yeah, I'm still confused.
Right. You were still like,
No one's had the talk with me. I'm still confused.
right. And nobody's probably touched you yet.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy for you
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's so comical that it's not even hurtful.
there are difficult discussions that we all must have, and this book is the way to go. There is other controversy that we have to cover.
Oh.
In a previous episode, I said something, and you took like you took it like oh, you're doing wife joke. I said that when that being married, getting married at your wedding, is an emergency of some sort.
Yes.
That's why we break the glass in case of emergency. Break glass. That's why the chassan, the guy, steps on, or the groom,
Khatan.
the khatan,
Yeah.
steps on the glass. I think it's in case of emergency, break glass. Because what bigger emergency is it than to get married?
Right.
And the only and you had a problem with that.
I just think it's funny. I think it was a little bit of a funny bit from a
We got
different
a lot
from a
of-
different era.
We got a lot of emails and DMs.
we did?
Of people asking what was Eli's problem with that.
Oh, I don't have a problem with it. I just think you are from a different time, and I just love that.
I mean,
You don't
16 years older than you.
at least
How old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay, I'm 24 years old. No, but like, okay, I'm from a different time. I don't see us like that, being from different times.
No.
We're definitely generationally different.
Yeah.
But I'm not like from a time like my grandfather where you couldn't talk about the blah, blah, blah. It's not like that.
No,
So what am I saying is controversial?
I don't think it's controversial even. I think it's just funny that that you think about marriage as an emergency. I think that's funny.
I think-
you were making a joke and I laughed.
Okay, fine.
I wouldn't make that joke.
Well,
That's why I laughed, because I couldn't do it.
That's because you're newly married. You know, I didn't do marriage jokes for 20 years of my marriage.
Okay.
When you're newly married, A, you're happy.
Uh-huh.
And B, you're not yet in tune with the problems of marriage.
Right.
You're not yet
Sure. I
focused
am-
in on what's wrong with marriage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting to think of marriage as an emergency
Yeah.
in hindsight.
Yeah.
So you want to, you don't want to be in it.
You don't want to be in the emergency.
No, you don't want to be in the marriage. You don't want to be in a state of emergency.
Right. And yet there's no place I'd rather be than in my marriage.
Hmm.
And no one I'd rather be with than who I'm married to.
I mean, that's beautiful.
But if I can't make jokes about it, and again, what are jokes?
You can.
Right. Jokes are about like what's wrong with the situation. Jokes are, like when
Things that annoy you.
things that annoy you. What bothers me? I think we have Sebastian Maniscalco here. Sebastian, what's bothering you?
You know, smirking me.
The what? Yeah, the what?
You know, smirking me.
Oh, what's bothering you, Sebastian?
Smirking me.
What is it? Is it the Ubers?
It's the Ubers. I can't take an Uber anymore.
Yeah.
Can't take it on the phone.
You have to order it on your phone? Are you okay? And we've lost it. We'll be back. Wait,
You gotta get
can I
the
just-
Uber.
Right.
You take the
Oh, you're
Uber.
back. You're
Yeah,
back.
I mean, it's kind of
That's your problem with
that was electric.
that was really
I don't know
good.
what that was, but people will watch this back and say that we will miss that.
That was that was possibly a seizure. That requires medical attention, people will
does.
say. People will say, was there a doctor on set?
This is something that you break because you break me. No, you break the glass in case of me.
Oh, I see.
I should be breaking glass constantly.
So my point is that getting married is a life-changing thing, and it is in a way an emergency. So I'm saying, in case of emergency, break glass. The only other emergency you will have that may be as big,
A break-in?
no, it's your last emergency. And then I go, you know what I realize? That you're going to love this. There's only 2 times in life when you get pronounced something, and that's when you get married and when you die.
Right.
I'm not saying there's a correlation between marriage and death. I'm not insinuating anything negative about marriage, but I'm saying there are only 2 times in life when you will be pronounced.
Right.
And that's when you get married and when you die. And I think, here's what I think, they should pronounce you at your wedding the way they do at death. Like, think about this. Like, a chuppah is kind of like an operating room, right? Where it's very quiet and it's serious, and there's a few people surrounding the patient, and then there's like an observation deck of other people watch. Are you with me on the
I'm
analogy?
loving this.
And then it's like, what happens is, instead of mazel tov, everyone yelling, it's quiet. And the rabbi goes, time. And then someone goes, 7:52. And they go, all right, let's call it. Time of marriage, 7:52. I'm going to go alert the family. And then he goes to the family and says, we did everything we could, but I'm afraid we lost him. I'm so sorry. There was nothing more. We tried everything. There was nothing more we could do. Maybe I should do this in higher energy so you see how it's jokes.
No,
but I'm acting too well, I think.
No, it's like pretty. It's a pretty good like bit premise. Like you're doing a pretty good job.
I'm working on this as a bit, and I was hoping you would help me with the bit.
Oh,
like
you
you're like a
don't go
comedic
to-
genius,
no, you
and I
don't
was
go to-
hoping that you would go, oh, you should try this, or top it, or interject.
Yeah, well, you're expecting me to do something that I'm completely unwilling to do.
Help me.
Yeah.
Help my comedy. There was nothing more we could do.
Nothing more we could
We
do.
lost him. And the friends are all crying, like, oh, can I just say goodbye? It's like, oh, you won't even recognize him anymore.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying it as if it is a sad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am definitely implying.
Right. What if? So here's an idea.
Okay.
What if it was still happy?
What death is happy?
Hitler. Noir.
Even those
like that.
even those types, we are taught in Judaism to not celebrate the demise of our enemies.
Right, of course. And you, I'm sure, didn't.
I didn't. I was just happy that
What I'm-
evil was no longer thriving. I wasn't dancing. I didn't throw a
We
party.
did everything we could, and it's to stop him from getting married.
Right.
Right. See, that's the part where I'm like, okay.
But that's the angle of like the single guy and his buddies. Like, oh, come on, still be our buddy. Let's go do buddy guys thing. Now you're gonna be with the old lady. We're gonna be with the ball and chain. That's not.
Right, that's a classic trope.
It's
that
a
is,
classic trope, but
played
it's true.
over and over
But it's
and
true.
over and
when
over
you're in a
and
friend
over,
group,
over,
let's say you're in a friend
over,
group for your
over,
20s.
over,
Let's say you're in a
over and
friend
over.
group. You could imagine having friends,
I
right?
could imagine.
Picture this scenario. You have friends.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Wait, I'm happy.
Yeah. People like you. They like being around you.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you picture that?
Yes.
Okay. So now you're in a friend group for your 20s. And then 10 years go by. Now you're in your 30s. And all of a sudden, you hit 40, you decide to get married. Your friend group isn't going to be upset with you leaving them, isn't going to equate it to your death of their friendship and this group, this chevra.
If I'm in my 40s and none of my friends are married, I think there could be an issue with my friend group. I'm not saying it's not okay to be single forever. I think that if we are all boys from our 20s
Right.
and none of us have gotten married, none of us have decided to
Right.
join in a union with another person, that you should look at that group as an anomaly and potentially discover whether or not they are a huge problem to society.
And we'll be back with Bianna and Yonit, our stars of David, today. And here we are. Here we are with two of the greats. Let's just say, no, I'm not kidding. We'll start the comedy shortly. I heard a little laugh. But when I say two of the greats,
I thought you meant you and Eli.
no. Besides me and Eli, you two,
He'll compliment himself a lot later.
throughout the entire podcast, I'll
You
be
two will not get a
extolling
word in.
my virtues. But I will just say that, because the script, they give you a script for these things, and it says, today we're joined by two of the most respected journalists in the Jewish world.
Oh, someone else is coming?
No. This was, yeah.
Wait, just the Jewish world?
No, not just the Jewish world. It goes on. Women who have spent their
Such a Jewish thing to say. I'm sorry. Shut up now.
spent their careers shaping how millions understand global events, Israel, and now anti-Semitism itself. Now, wait a second. Before I give you your proper introduction, that's what I wanted to say. You're all that and more. You're all that. I mean, my goodness, you're on
I like
CNN.
how you went to baritone on that.
Yeah, you're all that and more. I'm like Casey Kasem. Remember Casey
Kasem, of
Well,
course.
Casey had a high voice and a low one. He went up here, and then he also went down there.
But anyway, so I do that as well. But my point is that you are more than just Jewish journalists. You know what I mean? It's like people say I'm a Jewish comedian. I'm not more than that. I'm barely a comedian for everybody because so much of my material is Jewish. You're on CNN nightly. You're not the Jewish anchor. You're the great anchor who happens to care about your people and your community and Israel. So that's a little bit of your focus when you're writing books. But when you're on CNN, you're not the Jewish anchor. Am I right? What's with this intro I'm reading here?
Why is that not my official bio, by the way?
It's crazy. But to give you an official introduction, Bianna, let me get this right, Golodryga,
Perfect.
which is also a little
Her
bit
father's going to be
Spanish.
very
It
happy.
sounds like it. No,
Golodryga.
it's Ukrainian.
It's Ukrainian. Why am I doing a Spanish accent? I am Bianna Golodryga.
You can do the Russian.
Hello, how are you? Oh, I'm
Don-
Bianna Golodryga.
There
It
you
works
go.
for your name works in multi-cultures.
It's universal.
Yeah, Bianna Golodryga. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. So wait a second. But again, your official introduction is that you are, and this is true, a powerhouse broadcast journalist, CNN anchor of One World, formerly Good Morning America you were at, CBS this morning, and then one of the most outspoken voices against anti-Semitism since October 7th. He actually is one of the most outspoken voices for anti-Semitism.
That's wild.
Since
What an
October 7th.
introduction I get
I
to
just
you.
want you to know that who your company is here. And then we get to Yonit Levi, and I'm joking. He's amazing. He's a voice, and he
It's
has
the first thing they meet about me is you're
learn
saying
it.
this.
They'll learn it anyway along the way. I'm just trying to speed things up. Yonit Levi, who is, again, literally Israel's most prominent news anchor, face of the #1 broadcast on Keshet 12. And this is where I think it's really extra cool. The first woman to ever solo anchor the news in Israel. And I'm guessing in the Middle East.
I started doing this solo before the United States had a solo
You're
anchor.
kidding.
It was Katie Couric who did it on CBS News. That was the first woman who did it. as a
That's
solo.
unbelievable. And like many other things, Golda Meir was the first ever prime minister before the
She was
United
not
States
a solo
ever
anchor
had
on the news.
a
Well, we
female.
still don't have a
Even-
female
that's what I'm
leader.
saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
She was not a solo anchor. Even
See,
Golda
I made
Meir.
that joke, but then you made it and it sounded funny. I was just
you-
mumbling
you-
that joke.
You
and then-
succeeded it. You did
That's
it.
how we do it, though.
I can't make my own stuff up.
Right.
I can't come up with
I
anything
really
from
demand
nowhere.
that in editing, you just put the voice in it, make it so it sounds like I did it first.
Right, but
I'm sorry, like
That's
you-
the magic
okay.
of editing.
But let's start with the positive. And again, being a pioneer in Israel and sort of representing the true face of Israel, that it is a culture that props women up, that props up every culture living in Israel. And what is that like, knowing that, like, you're the first to do this. And you know that in every country around you, including Israel, there are no other lead female broadcasters. What's it like being the first?
Well, first of all, today there are more, and that's really great. And it still means that my mother would say, like, you maybe should have became. Why weren't you a doctor? That's what it kind of means. But that's just it. And you forgot my Jewish podcast. Do you think it's because it runs into your Jewish podcast?
I
you
don't
don't like the competition.
He does not like
Yeah.
the
I'm just-
competition.
By the way, her
No.
Chiron.
I don't have Eli, so that
Yeah.
Her Chiron reads the first too.
Is that true?
Yes, that's written in her contract.
That's
the first
great.
female anchor. Yes.
But wait, but what I'm saying is being a trailblazer and being a pioneer is something that's so exciting. Not to make this about me or my family, but my younger brother, who's a gay recording artist, was the first ever to do songs about loving another man. Like the first ever. Before Elton John came out,
Wow.
Ari was gay and proud of it and did songs about it and released albums and, headlined every gay pride parade concert and all that. And for him, it was such a feeling of like, oh my God, I'm actually doing something that's important, that's life-changing, and that changes other people's minds. So what was it like? Like, you're like, oh my God, there's a lot of pressure, or this is a long time coming. Like, what were your feelings being the first?
Terrified,
Right.
really, to be honest. And it started with when I started anchoring evening news at the age of 25.
Wow.
Which, ridiculously young, a lot of circumstances. My predecessor left, surprisingly. And so I was sitting and doing the news with a co-anchor who was a man. And then after 5 years, he left. And sort of they were looking around for someone to fill his place. And after they couldn't find one for a few months, they were like, oh, okay, let's just let her do that. And yes, so the answer is terrified. I mean, it's been about 17 years since.
Yeah.
So I'm
But
gotten
you went
used to
into it
but-
terrified, and at one point did you go, oh, this is what I should be doing, and now I feel great about the work I'm doing, and you can relax into it and really like enjoy it.
I'll call you when that
Okay,
relax
fine. I
into
know what you mean.
happens.
We know
I'm not
exactly
yet in
what you
that
mean.
thing.
We're still
keeps us on
terrified.
our toes,
It
right?
does.
When are you ever truly satisfied with any piece of work? that
People
you do?
always say, are you nervous before shows? Yeah, of course I'm nervous. It's Frank Sinatra said I was nervous before every single show. And I'm like, but you're such an icon and a legend. Everyone there loves you and here to see you. What are you nervous about? Plus, you just got to sing a few songs, right?
Yeah, you know the words.
You know the words to the
You don't-
songs.
you have the same reaction every night.
Every night, the same reaction, the same darn song. The summer wind keeps blowing in. How tough is I could do that?
Only you can make Frank Sinatra sound Jewish.
Oh, yeah, the summer wind it keeps blowing in. Anyway,
He was a big friend of the Jews.
I
though,
know
I
he
have to
was.
say, yes.
And went to Israel. There's so many. Here's what I say about Zionists, okay? There's so many great Zionists, from the great Dr. Martin Luther King to almost every president of the United States to, oh God, I'm forgetting his name. Oh God, right, God. Oh God, the OG Zionist. You know what I mean? That guy. He's a Zionist. So it's like,
yell.
I'm sorry. Am I yelling? So I'm just saying, you're in good company.
sleeping.
Like,
Hey,
you're in good
Yes,
company.
agreed.
Okay? When you think about who is for the Jewish people's right to self-determination in our ancestral homeland, you're on the right side of history, humanity, and morality. Don't be ashamed of it.
This reminds me of the quote by Chaim Weizmann, who's Israel's president, who said, you don't have to be crazy to be a Zionist, but it helps.
That's amazing.
So we'll just say we don't have to be optimists to be Zionists, but it helps.
It does help. And then you, Bianna, another trailblazer in many, many ways. First of all, getting the gig at CNN. Like, if you want to go into journalism, you want to work at CNN. How does that happen? You're like a kid. You're growing up where?
I grew up in, well, it's a loaded question. I was born in the former Soviet Union.
You both were, right?
No, actually.
Wait, I thought you both have
born in
Soviet
Jerusalem.
descent. Something
I
like-
mean, my parents are
Oh.
definitely Eastern European,
Okay.
which connects us.
Yes, we
Apart
just
from our
we left a little later than most people did to the United States. We left in 1980 as Jewish
How old
political
were you?
refugees. 18 months. So my
Oh,
dad
so
says
that's why
I
the
was
accent.
I was the heaviest baggage that we were allowed to take because we weren't allowed to take much at all. And
Other than his mother-in-law, you know what I mean?
Copy
You know what I'm
that,
saying?
man.
we didn't
You
even
want to talk
take
about
her.
baggage?
Pretty good, man. Let's.
I'm sorry.
How
go
about
ahead,
how we
sorry,
continue?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
We didn't even take his mother-in-law.
Are you joking?
Literally, it was the three of us, and that's it. And my parents saw that all of the Russian Soviet immigrants were moving to New York or LA, Brighton Beach, what have you. And my dad said, we are not going there. And we ended up in Galveston, Texas. And 6 months later, my dad got a job in Houston, Texas. And long story short, I grew up there. They're still there. And I moved to New York in 2001 and started as a television producer and then worked my way up various networks. And yes, I'm now at CNN, where I'm very happy.
That's incredible. Like, what a journey from the Soviet Union to the CNN.
Well, you missed Galveston.
I did skip over.
You missed Galveston.
I
Big
skipped
part.
Galveston.
Big part.
And I apologize.
Galveston at one point was also a big port of for Jewish immigrants into
Was
this
it?
country. Yes, I mean Ellis Island gets all the credit, but there was an investment made in Galveston to do the same. Just doesn't get as much attention as New York does.
So did
New
you grow
York,
up?
New York is so loud
It's very loud.
about itself.
Yeah.
There's other places in the world,
Right.
like Minneapolis.
Where you're from.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
See,
Where do
everything
people
goes
that-
back
yes.
to Eli, and he calls me a narcissist. I just want you to know this is truth and fiction here. So wait. First of all, that's a fascinating element to your story. Texas, good Jewish community. You experience any of the bad stuff that we're experiencing now everywhere?
No, I did not experience much bad stuff. So Houston has a vibrant Jewish community. When we first moved there, we lived in a suburb of Houston, a small town called Channelview, where I was the only Jewish student at the Channelview Elementary School. We were the only Jews in our neighborhood. And then on top of that, we were Soviet Jews. So we were the enemy at the time, right? So I did not quite fit in. And all I wanted was to look like everyone else, to speak and have, food like my friends had at their houses, and Oreo cookies and other snacks. And none of that was at the Golodryga household. But, the people
We call that
appreciate
assimilating.
Yes.
You just wanted to blend in.
Yes.
Yeah, I get
Yes,
that.
so many kids do.
I get that because otherwise you're being othered.
Yes.
And it's like, who doesn't want to fit in with people? Eli is struggling to fit into this room right now.
I am.
Do you
I
understand?
can't understand why.
What's going on? Okay, so then
He does have the best T-shirt though.
And hair.
he does, and hair, without a doubt.
Keep it coming.
So then
leaving.
I want to know, because we're obviously going to get to the book, which is incredible and so relevant to what is needed today and what is missing from today's literature, which is explaining to preteens and teens anti-Semitism. How do they wrap their heads around it? Because we could barely wrap our heads around it. So we'll get to that in a moment. But first, you guys had to meet in some situation. How did this happen? Because you were friends before you were co-authors.
Very much so.
What happened?
It had to be in a news situation because, we're both news women. So we met in 2016. I came to interview Bianna before the Trump-Hillary elections.
We have Trump to thank for our
you.
friendship.
And I want to take all the credit. Bianna, she wouldn't have met Yonit if not for Trump. If not for Trump, Bianna and Yonit, it never would have happened. And what I'm doing is I'm doing the Abraham Accords and the Bianna Yonit Accords. We're putting them together. We're bringing them so close.
Sorry, go ahead. I had to. I'm sorry, I apologize.
She set it up.
Yep.
I have to
But
say.
without knowing that I had a
And then
Trump.
we stayed in touch, and it was right before we completely hit it off and became friends. And then right after October 7th, we started talking to each other basically every night because we were sort of shocked to see what was going on in the world, both in Israel and this sort of wave of anti-Semitism. And sorry, I'm veering into very serious
It's
discussions
okay.
here,
We can
but,
get a little serious.
But yeah, that is when, really, I tried to read back to our messages, and it was a mere, I think, 2 weeks into this, after October 7th, that Bianna wrote to me, let's write a book together, which was sort of out of left field.
But first, you were having conversations on the
Yeah.
phone. Like, what do we tell our kids? They keep asking these questions. Why do they hate us? What? Like, you're first having conversations. Then the light bulb goes, this should be a book. People need to, we're struggling with this. We need to help others with this.
Yeah, and I think the first kind of conversations were just, we were trying to realize what was happening.
I was checking in on her. I mean, I needed to listen to this before I knew you had a podcast, but I needed to hear from her. I needed an emergency podcast on what's happening, what the ramifications of October 7th, what it's going to lead to. And then, as you know, anti-Semitism didn't happen on October 7th. It's been something we've been grappling with for millennia, but even in the years leading up to October 7th, the last 10 years, the last 20 years, we have seen a huge spike in anti-Semitism around the world. So it was in the back of my mind. My kids were already asking me about this in 2022. There are celebrities making anti-Semitic remarks, not really getting punished for it, not really even apologizing for it sincerely. And then when October 7th happened, we realized this is only going to spike. We're only going to see anti-Semitism metastasize, sadly, after this attack, and we were proven right.
Also, by the way, side note, craziest timing for anti-Semitism to spike after Jews were attacked and slaughtered
I
and
mean,
murdered
isn't
and
that
raped.
still, when you think,
still
back
don't-
to that, you're
yeah.
like, first of all, this happened to us Israelis. It took 24 hours for the whole world, large parts of the world to turn against us and say we're at fault.
Before
then-
we
Victim blame.
went in,
right?
even,
course.
yeah,
And before one plane was,
Right.
one Air Force plane was
deployed,
in the
yeah.
sky, and then this, and that
Right.
was just, I think, for us Israelis, like the heartbreak of October 7th, and then the heartbreak of the
So
much.
So what was the aha Oprah green light bulb moment of like, but we have to write this?
So going back to the questions my kids were asking, I said, well, I don't have the answers for this. I'm floored that we're dealing with this in 2022. These aren't isolated incidents, obviously. Let me reach out to your school. Let me reach out to educators. I'm sure there are resources that they turn to on this subject matter, especially because this is post George Floyd's murder, when there have been so many resources, and rightfully so, invested into teaching kids about racism and to teaching kids about how not to act on racism and what to do and what to look out for, and so much communication back and forth between the schools and the parents. So I'm like, there must be something
Just
on
quickly, what type of
anti-Semitism.
school is it?
Just a public school.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, private school.
No, is
Private
it
school.
denominational of any Jewish? No.
No,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
no.
Yeah.
Kids of all backgrounds,
Yeah.
races.
So we're not going to Jewish school for the resources here.
No.
Are you now?
Are you blaming?
Are you
No.
upset with
He's blaming
Jewish
us.
school?
No, no,
I
no,
told you,
no,
just
I'm
give it a
very-
minute. I said,
It's
give it
about
1
the-
minute,
it
and you'll
sounds like
see
you're
the real
blaming
Eli.
the Jews.
Absolutely not.
No. So what are you trying to say?
Oh, I'm saying that you're not going to a Jewish school for these resources. We're trying to find them in a school that is not a Jewish affiliated
Right.
school.
That's his point.
Yes.
Yeah.
That it's good that it wasn't. No, that
That's what it is.
to be educated on the struggle of black people, you don't have to be a black school or a Jewish school. You just have to be a school
Yes.
to learn
I'm
about
sorry,
history.
Eli, that's
Yes.
actually a very good point that you were making.
We thought that you
okay.
were an idiot for the
No,
last
no,
13
people-
minutes.
No, I can tell by his
poorly.
face like this was not a joke.
No, no, he gets.
He wasn't being
gets very-
sarcastic.
no.
This is what happens when news people try to be funny. It's really bad. Really bad. So we really apologize. We're not going to do it anymore. Straight face.
It was
the whole-
it was a really good question. No, it was for me though. I thought it was a pretty simple approach. Let me reach out to school. I'm sure they're going to have something. And
Nothing.
the answer I got was, well, we don't really have resources on anti-Semitism. And for this age group, we just wait for them to perhaps raise this at school on their own. And if they do, then maybe we'll talk about it. And I turned to my husband. I said, I can't believe this is the response we received. And I let it lie. The seed was planted in the back of my mind. And then, a year later, we have the October 7th attacks. And we know, as we have just said, within days, hours, it's already victim blaming. I was doing reports on CNN about attacks against Jewish Americans, Jewish institutions, people worried about getting into an Uber with the Jewish sounding name. Again, before the war even began, before
Right.
the IDF even went in. And so that's when Yonit and I were trying to figure out, what can we do? We feel so helpless. And I said, listen, I have an idea that there is a void in this particular space addressing anti-Semitism for a very impressionable, smart, young age group. Let's try to fill that void.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so valuable right now. It's just such a, again, you filled a void that is so frustrating as a parent. And I told you this before. I feel so badly for my children that they're growing up in a world that they think everyone hates them. And I grew up in a world where, I just knew Eli hated me. I never experienced anti-Semitism till 2014. We'll get back to that in a moment. But my father experienced it because he knew that his father had 2 brothers, 2 sisters, a mother and father were murdered, by the Nazis. So he knew about real anti-Semitism. I kind of knew that story, but it was like in black and white, and it didn't affect my life at all because I didn't feel it growing up in New York at all. And now my kids, who literally skipped a generation, and now my kids have to go through it. That's why this book is so precious and valuable now. Can I ask a boring question? Because I'm obsessed with the writing
I don't
process.
think you can do that.
No, I can't.
You know
Trust
how
me,
to
this
do
one's
that.
going to be real dull. What is the process? Because when I write with someone, it's like, is it on Zoom? Is it a phone call? Are we meeting in? What was this is like a book. It takes a while to write a book, and there's a process. Is it Zooms? Do you meeting? You're in Israel. You're here in New York. How are you doing this?
Yeah, it's 5,600 miles apart. And it's, I think it really, to be honest, at the beginning, it was just giving us an excuse to talk more and to deepen our friendship. It was just weekly conversations on Zoom, trying to structure. I'm trying to not give a boring answer. It probably might be.
On my
but
horribly boring question.
trying to structure how this story is going to look like. And the minute that we knew that there were going to be 3 narrators, it made it a little easier. So each of us kind of took a little bit of, a different character here to tell the story, but just a lot of conversations. Bianna did come to Israel every once in a while because she covered the story for CNN. So we had those kinds of concentrated efforts. That's how it happened.
That's
And
amazing.
in our case, this was art imitating life in many circumstances, whether it was a celebrity saying something anti-Semitic. I told you what experience my son was really troubled by. So that was the sort of
The
initial.
Kyrie Irving and Kanye back to back. It was
Yes.
like, wait, I love these guys. Why do they hate me?
Yes, exactly. And so that was sort of the initial thought behind, okay, how can we speak to kids and make this book not a didactic book, but something they would find interesting? Sports, social media. I mean, there's something really for everybody with these three characters, the main characters, and then their lovable Israeli grandparents. And those two were all Yonit.
I could have run with that for a while.
No, but
I
it's
did the
great.
prequel until like Bianna was like, the kids should probably be doing something. 'cause
No, but
it's
telling a
kid's book.
story through characters is so brilliant. Instead of like, this is what you should say when your child asks you, you can't. No one's gonna. It doesn't resonate. Okay, first of all, kol hakavod to both of you. You know what that means? It means
Good
all
job.
due respect. Good job.
Kind of, yeah.
Kol,
Yeah, no, I mean,
Hakavod.
Literally.
Respect.
Generally.
All the
Yeah,
respect.
literally?
I don't think it means good job.
No, it's
how do you
yes,
say good
all the
job in
respect,
Hebrew?
Yes.
Avodah tov. What? What'd you say?
Your Hebrew is much better than you pretend
It's
it is.
not good
It
at all.
really is.
אבל
It
עכשיו
really is.
אני,
We're cutting to Hebrew.
Okay,
נעשה את זה
fine.
בעברית פשוט.
Here's the-
בוא נעשה
can you
שיחה
speak Hebrew?
בעברית.
It's
And what do you say when you're like, what would you say right now?
kol hakavod.
Right. Oh, don't you do a thing where if Bernie Sanders went to Hebrew school, what would that be like?
You're setting me up for a bit.
Yeah, how does that go? Just to entertain our guests. To entertain
Smooth.
the
Wanna
guests.
hear
That was
now,
very
you have to.
smooth.
No, this is fun. This is if Bernie said, okay,
אפשר ללכת לשירותים. אפשר ללכת לשירות הפרוסטייט שלי.
your prostate.
הפרוסטייט שלי.
Right. Now you're in seventh grade at this point.
Yeah.
And you're still having prostate issues?
Good.
So that was Bernie in Hebrew school. Anyway, we always start every interview with this, but I was so enthralled and taken by both of you that I'm just going to end with it because I forgot about it. The three W's. And the three W's are just, okay, I'll just give you them. It's what are you working on, which we kind of know. What are you worried about? And what do you wish for? Go ahead. You're working on the book and promoting it.
And we're working on our next book, kind of.
Really?
Hopefully the next, yes. I mean, this has worked out so well. It's not
She needs
always,
some vacation from me. Like,
Right.
she can't stand me. Like, after not seeing me in
Not
like
at
5
all.
days,
We
she
sort of-
cannot.
we jumped over the point in your friendship when you can gossip and learn about each other's past and funny stories, and we delved right into very hard
Work.
hard topic,
Yeah.
hard work. So we'd like to maybe take a step back or two and get to know each other.
There's a moment in the middle of like writing
A
the most
less intense
difficult moments in
perspective.
the book. I was like, yeah, and I have to ask you a really important question. It's just like, why's Dawson or
Oh,
because I need to know. Because
Right.
now, if you're going to say the wrong answer
Yeah.
here, we have to stop.
by the way, I have an idea. Girls trip.
Sure, man.
Girls trip. That's what they need after all this work.
Yeah.
Really
They need to get
do.
away.
Yeah, sure.
Go on a cruise, do something that, when women get together and they do fun things.
You know all about
I
that?
have no idea what they do, but I know that there's a thing
As
called
long-
girls trip
Yeah.
where the ladies go on a trip and they bond and they talk about us and they have fun.
They
I think
talk
that's
about
what
us.
they need. You don't talk about us?
You
Okay.
imagine they don't pass the Bechdel test behind our backs.
So working on a new book, your
Yes.
respective podcasts, CNN stuff, and then what are you worried about?
I mean, anti-Semitism, clearly.
Yeah.
Is that
Specifically, like for example, not to bring it up and not to get political because I hate politics, but are you worried about being a Jewish woman in New York City in this post mayoral election?
I can't. I know why people are concerned, and I think there's reason for that concern, given just the spike we've seen in anti-Semitism in the city already. There were some troubling comments that the mayor-elect has made, and even more troubling is just not walking them back.
Right.
And, that's sort of been a double down. It's kind of similar to the soccer star in our book and what we've experienced in real life, where everyone but that person is justifying their actions or apologizing for them. I don't want that to become the new normal. It can't.
Yeah. So you're worried about that. What are you worried about, Yonit?
I mean, I look at my country that's been through, hell and back.
By the way,
I
a civil war almost, and then an actual war or two.
Well, I mean, definitely a civil protest,
Right.
and a deep rift and argument. Then October 7th and everything that happened in the region, in some respects, were safer than we were. But just the sort of internal argument and the rift, I think it's true to this country as well. I just want things to settle down a little bit. I just wish for the most, answering your third W, I wish for the most boring news on earth. I just want to start
Then you're out of a
a
gig.
newscast.
You're out of a
That's
gig.
okay.
That's
Believe
like-
me,
yes.
just
I know,
I'm
I'm
fine.
joking.
I'm
For
just
some
give-
people, it's not
It's all about the
that.
money.
It's not all about that for some people.
No, that's really nice to wish for a boring news
really boring.
cycle.
I would even, I would even give it the boring year. A really
Yeah.
boring year.
Yeah.
We're
It's
okay
been
with that.
a lot. You
Let's
could
go back
use-
to boring
Yeah.
stories,
Let's go
stolen
back to the
bikes,
traffic and the
rain,
weather.
Right.
The traffic and the weather. You ever hear my joke about the traffic and the weather?
Oh, great.
So I live in LA, right? And they actually have whole segments on the news for traffic and weather when we know the traffic is always bad and the weather is always good. Always. They should just nod the traffic and weather, right? It should be like, are you ready? And here's the weather and the traffic. Now, for those of you who can't see, I'm nodding up and down for the weather, which is good.
Good.
And then back and forth
That's like a no.
like a no, not
bad.
good.
Yeah.
And that was another episode of I'm glad we stopped for this. That was another. I shouldn't have stopped for that, should I have?
no,
It's
let's,
not even a good bit.
Well,
No.
guess what kind of weather I'm in for when I go to LA this weekend?
Oh no,
A monsoon.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
It's always nice.
I know. Everyone's
apologize.
told me.
Okay, land before the monsoon lands. That's my advice. And then
going
what
back
do
to-
you wish for, Bianna?
I'm sorry, I'm going to steal your line. I mean, I
Good.
wish for
That's
health
better.
and
Of
happiness
course.
for my kids, my family, my friends, the world,
See, now you're
peace.
making me look bad. I didn't
Of course.
say all that.
Yeah, you were so selfish in your answer. It was ugly.
But I wish.
I'm joking. Can I not? Are you aware of what I do for a living, or have you forgotten what you do for a living? Also,
No, I'm aware of what you do for a living.
what I try to
Absolutely.
do all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're wishing for good things for your people and other people and all people, humanity.
and this country. It's such
Yeah.
an amazing country. It takes an immigrant really to really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And so there's everything I've achieved in my life and my parents have could only have happened in America. And that's what we want to strive for.
That's incredible in America and, of course, in Israel, where it happened for both of you, respectively. I'm so glad you were here. I'm so glad you wrote this book, Don't Feed the Lion, available on Amazon, right? Where books are sold.
Yeah.
Don't Feed the Lion. I'm not joking when I say it is one of the most important books to read today, even if you don't have children, because there are lessons in there that we could all adopt and apply. And we really needed this book in this moment. And I pray that it's a New York Times bestseller and then anti-Semitism goes away and nobody ever has to buy this book again. Right?
Yeah.
God willing, we should live in a world.
A big
spike in
the
sales.
The first day of sales.
First day sales.
3 days later, we
Nothing.
don't need the book.
Anti-Semitism has
Is it a 3-day read? How many days? How many days is
You
it
can read
read?
this in one day.
1 day read.
1 day.
They're returning the book. They're asking for refunds. It's over now.
Yeah.
Why do I have to have this in my house?
Right.
Be a history book.
Yeah,
It
that's
could
right.
be a history book, so we could always sell the book. So go out and buy that book.
Phew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your list?
Yes.
a little bit- I
But
was scared for a
seriously,
moment.
thank you for everything you do, everything you've contributed to the world, to society, and to our people and our homeland. You guys are just champions, and you're brilliant, and the book is brilliant. Everyone should read it. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Eva.
you. Thank you for everything you do.
Eli, I wish you weren't here. I got to be honest.
I understand. There's a lot of negativity coming my way.
Yep.
From that region.
But I just want you to know I'm not punching down. I'm punching up. You're smarter than me. You're funnier than me. You grew up more affluent than I did. I'm punching up when I bring you down.
I have a comment that I should make,
Please.
and I will not.
Please.
No.
We can edit it
No,
out.
There's
We can
no
edit it right
chance.
here. We
There's
can edit
no
it right here.
chance.
And now it's time for the Yiddish word of the week with none other than my parents, Sid and Lynn Gold. Mom, Dad, how are you?
Good.
What did you do over the weekend that was sort of different? What'd you
We're glücklich to be alive at our age.
I think everyone is.
Glücklich.
I think every day you wake up, you say Modani.
Yeah, every day I wake up. Yeah,
And
I feel glücklich.
And you have
You knew that word, right? You're a good student.
Yeah.
You remember that word, glücklich?
that was from
Luck,
season
good
1.
fortune, yeah. Good luck. Good
Season 1.
But be happy. We're not repeating that.
No.
New
What
word
do we have
now.
today? What do we have
What do we
today?
have today? But first tell me, how was your weekend?
Oh, my Shabbos is always
Machaya.
a machaya.
Machaya. That's actually a Yiddish word that I used on Curb Your Enthusiasm. I said to Larry David, Ted Danson, a real machaya.
Yeah.
And he goes, well,
Yeah, I like that word.
machaya. I'm like, you know, he's good. He's good to work with. He's a joy. He's a pleasure to work with.
be around.
A pleasure to be around. He's a machaya. Is that the Yiddish word of the week? Why don't we make
It
that the Yiddish
could
word?
be
Could be.
if you like that word, machaya.
Let's go with that as the Yiddish word
It's
of the
something
week.
that could be Yinglish. Yiddish mixed with like blended in with English. It could be like schlep.
But
Is a
everybody
Yiddish
knows
word that you use.
Schlep is boring, but machaya is good. Like every
Okay.
time I talk to you, it's a machaya.
Good.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
You on a hot day, you go into a cool pool
And
and you
machaya.
scratch
Machaya.
yourself.
A
You say,
cold-
"Oi, this is a
Not a
machaya." Oh,
You know what's
this is
interesting?
a machaya.
Cold plunge, not a machaya. A cool pool, a machaya. A
Yeah.
hot tub, a machaya. A boiling tub,
No.
Oi.
Machaya.
and now it's time
Oi.
for what's
That's-
a machaya. That should be a game show.
What's a machaya?
What's a machaya? Our first contestant is Eli Leonard. Eli Leonard doing this podcast. Machaya or not a machaya?
I'd like to say machaya, Elon, but it certainly is not.
It's not a machaya. It's just a job for Eli.
This is just a job to me.
Wow. Well, machaya is a great word. I love that word, and thank you for sharing that. Mom and Dad, we love you. We'll see you on the next Stars of David, everybody. Thank you. Stars of David is a production of Unpacked, an open door media brand. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts, and check us out on Instagram and YouTube.
If you enjoyed this episode, leave us a rating on Apple or Spotify. It really does help. It really does help us when you tell other people to find our show.
It does?
Yeah, I think so. That's what is written in front of me, and I'm reading that.
Stars of David is hosted by me, Elon Gold.
And me, Eli Leonard, and we are produced by Michael Weber.
Thank you for listening. We do appreciate you.
Yes, b'koy minish kodesh li'edo.
As always, good.
Yontif v'shamru b'nei Yisrael le'yisha shoybas.